Hello everyone, and we're bringing back the Lionel 60-foot auto parts boxcars that were released early this year after running them a couple times. And we're going to discuss a couple things that still need improvement. But before we do, welcome to Dakman Productions and welcome to Apparel. So I bought these four Lionel 60-foot boxcars because they're really in the road names that I wanted, especially the Penn Central. I've been really getting into the Penn Central road names only because I wanted to have something that was pre-Conrail era on Conahee Rail. The DT&I, what attracted me to those the most, I guess, was the colors. And when I went online, I was surprised that DT&I actually ran pastel type of colors of rolling stock, and it was a lot of cool stuff. I have the all three of the Lionel DT&I 86-foot boxcars as well, and that's a cool set to have. And but at any rate, we're going to look at these. I bought them, and before buying them, I was reading about them and seeing a video that was made by Hobby Shop saying that they had the milk car trucks, but supposedly they made some improvements. So based on that, I went ahead and bought them. And let me tell you, the improvements are just not enough, but we'll discuss that here in a minute. But anyway, these are the second rolling stock that Lionel made with the milk car trucks, and everybody nicknamed the milk car trucks because the run before this, the last newly released Lionel milk cars had these trucks that were half plastic, had the metal that was really light. I don't even know what kind of metal they're using. It's a weird die cast of some sort. It doesn't even seem the same, but we'll show you the difference between that and a regular one. But, you know, so they got the nickname of milk car trucks, and, you know, people were having problems with them coupling. The couplers were too tight, and they wouldn't couple up to anything else but themselves. I'm still running into same issue with this. We're going to discuss some things about them. So before we go any further with this video is not to bash Lionel. I like Lionel. All my locomotives are Lionel. I have quite a bit of Lionel rolling stock. But this hopefully video, maybe they'll do some more improvements, and maybe other people will see what I'm doing, and it may help them when they buy these, because you know, if you're running on a smaller layout, you'll probably be fine. But if you're running these on a layout, a pretty big layout that has inclines, or one that has a bunch of switches in it, or S-curves, or S-turns, or bends, you're going to have problems with these. And like I said, they only couple to them. They couple themselves great. Fine. But anyway, let's get going. We'll take a look at we'll take one out of the box, and we'll go over some of the problems. So here I took one of the Lionel 60-foot auto parts boxcars out of the box. I'm pretty happy with them as far as the detail and the quality, the ladders and stuff like that. My whole gripe about these things is the trucks that they put on them. What everybody has nicknamed the milk car trucks. And like I said, they were supposed to have improved them, but more improvement is needed. So let's take a look. So I'm pushing a Lionel Conrail hopper. This is also a new release as well. This was before they went to the milk car couplers, but as you can see, not too bad. It hooks up, right? And you're like, Sean, what are you talking about? It hooked up the first time. Looks like it did good. Well, keep in mind, this car was made this year. But let's grab an older Lionel. Okay, that's a Lionel Standard O Cargill hopper. Still a Lionel product. See a problem here? And I'm not going to go any harder than that. But it won't couple. These milk car trucks will not couple to older Lionel pieces. So in my opinion, the knuckle, or the part that opens and closes, is closing way too tight. And you can see it. It's actually, the finger is actually in more than it should. So when you bring it over, right, and I actually have to physically try and force it, and you can see here it's still up. You can see that it's up. Force it in there, but the problem is that coupler, the way I forced it in there, is not going to move up and down. So if you have track that transitions from upgrades to low grade, or if you have a little dip in the track, and the worst part is if you're going through a switch, because a train car has to be able to roll up over the frog in a switch, and if it can't, it derails. Let me show you how these two couple together with no problem. There you go. So you can see it's not voodoo magic or anything. I'm just showing you guys that it does couple. The older one does couple to this new one that doesn't have milk car trucks on it. The only difference between this new one and the DT&I is just doesn't have the milk car trucks. So before you write it off that maybe the older Lionel won't hook up to the new stuff, nope, it does, as long as it's not milk car. Alright, we're going to try this Lionel 30K tank car. This one was made in the last couple years, so let's see what happens here. That hooks up, so we're good there. Alright, so we're going to try this Lionel refrigerated car. This is a Lionel scale size 57-foot Pacific Fruit Express car. This was released about 2 to 3 years ago. So let's give that a shove. Like I said, this is scale. It's not semi-scale or anything like that. So it does hook up. However, I want to show you guys something. There's no slack at all. It's tight. You can see how it fits tight in there. Finally it came out. And so the reason why you don't want it that tight is, once again, the cars have to be able to move up and down inside the couplers as you're going up and down the levels or through switches with the frogs. Alright, so now we have a Lionel 86-foot box car with kinetic couplers, or climatic couplers, however you want to say it. Let's see what happens now. Same thing. Even holding the car from moving. Alright, let's take an overview of this so you guys know I'm not missing the coupler. Nope, will not hook up to that Lionel boxcar with kinetic couplers. And so you guys don't think it's the 86-foot boxcar, let's swap it out with something else. Alright, so now we have something with non-milk car trucks on it. Wow, what a difference, huh? First time, first shot. Well, maybe we can force this thing together. Let's see what happens here. And you can see, even doing that, it does not like it. It's too tight. Will not go in. The problem with this is, like I said, is this finger closes too far. That finger right there. I just opened and closed it. Maybe that'll reset it. Let's find out. Nope. And if I close that by hand, this by hand, we have the same problem. Will not go together. So, and this is with Lionel's own couplers. I'm not even trying other name brands yet. Alright, so we're going to do a little side-by-side comparison. This is a previous run 60-foot box car. And this is the newest one with the milk car truck. And as you can see, you know, they added a longer shank to the truck. And the biggest difference between both of them is the one made before can swing for tighter radius curves, and this one here is fixed. So that has a fixed coupler on the truck. Also, the original release has metal, all metal trucks with seems to be die-cast side frames on them, and the new ones have a plastic middle. We'll just call this some sort of cast metal, because it seems to be a different grade of metal than what they used over here. But then again, I'm no metal expert either. However, the problem can easily be corrected, even using trucks the way they are. All Lionel has to do is when they make the coupler so this part of it right here doesn't close too far. And that's the problem with them. This closes too far. It's too tight for some of the rolling stock. So what I'm going to do is I'm swapping out the trucks off of the earlier 60-foot box car. And I'm going to make what we call in the world G scale a transition train. And I'll explain that here to you in a minute. But you can see that I took one truck off, and I only put it on one end of one car, leaving the original milk car truck on the other end. So rather than finding cars that do work that will couple up to these, you know, trying to figure it out, what I'm doing is I run these four together anyway, but I only had three that I'm showing you for an example. So I put one of those donor 60-foot boxcar trucks, the early one, on the front of this rail car. And then I put the other one on this car facing the rear. So now I just created a transition short train. So now I can hook this up to any car I want. These four cars. Because we have the earlier 60-foot boxcar trucks on this end, which do work with anything. And then the 60-foot boxcar trucks, the early ones on this end of the train, which works with anything. And if I decide to get anything else with milk cart trucks, I can just throw it in the middle of this train. That way I don't have to figure out what works with what. So that works for me. This is something that I have done in G-Scale as well as many other G-Scalers, because anybody who's in a G-Scale or the roll of G-Scale knows that manufacturers' couplers or different manufacturer couplers don't always couple with each other. They don't like it unless they're hook and loop. But as far as the knuckle couplers and G-Scale, there's so many different types that some will work. So in the end, what is the fix? Like I said, the fix is this part of it right here. This part needs to be open a little bit more, not so far closed. And then they'll be usable with anything after that point. So that's the improvement Lionel needs to make. And one other thing I'd like to mention, which is no big deal, because they're not made with that heavy cast trucks, they are a little on the light side. So you can either run them at the back of your train or simply add weight to them like I did. No biggie on that end of it, either way. I mean, anybody who owns Weaver or bought Weaver rolling stock knows for the most part you have to add weight to those because they're too light. And I got Weaver stuff too, nothing wrong with it. But anyway, so as you guys seen, I was not in a rant or anything like that. Just wanted to show what was going on after, running these. I ran them, a couple videos you guys seen, tested them, and put them through their paces. And the room for improvement, I showed that, showed the problem, showed the room for improvement, what needed to be improved, or just a little tweak to it. They still have rotating wheel bearing caps on them, so they're not too bad. But anyway, I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video, and we'll catch you guys next one round. Bye.